One of the ideas was around this like YouTube kind of listener tool.
How do we actually identify like good companies, startups, fast-growing scale-up that are already believing in creators as a growth engine? One perfect signal is obviously if they already partnered up with creators on YouTube, on LinkedIn. The idea was how can we, structure it? How can we scale it? How can we automate it? In a matter of, I think, 12 months, he grew the newsletter to like 600,000, 700,000 subscribers. I think entrepreneurship is one of the best and most beautiful levers I think you can pursue. I think what I really enjoy and love is just building something out of nothing.
This is just basically a dashboard. We included like a prompt on monitoring channels and search terms across YouTube.
How long did it take you?
This was one prompt.
Crazy.
Yeah. Wow, it's already
formatted.
Welcome to Software Slices, a show where every week we bring on a unique guest and build an even more unique piece of software. We're your hosts, Horatio and Aman, and today we're joined by our guest, Jennifer Phan, co-founder of Passionfroot, one of the fastest growing marketplaces for finding creators for your B2B campaigns. Jen, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Super excited for the podcast and for the show.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. You told me earlier it's your first time in person.
Yeah, exactly. I've been on a couple of podcasts already, but always virtual. So it's the first time ever being actually doing a live podcast. So yeah, super excited for that one.
Yeah, we're excited to dig in today. I think you shared a couple of ideas of things to build. Before we jump in, we'd love to hear a little bit more about what Passionfroot is and what you've been working on.
Yeah, for sure. I, before actually founding Passionfroot, I was in venture capital working as an early stage investor. And then that was my day job. And then actually by night, a little bit, like similar to you guys, instead of starting a podcast, I started a newsletter and just loved it so much. The way, content creation just gave me a way to creatively express myself, connect with like-minded people. So I actually thought about quitting my job and becoming a full-time creator. And at that time, I saw a lot of actually more like B2B creators actually popping up. So suddenly VC investors, tax consultants, advisors, lawyers starting to create content, right? So you had suddenly this wave of B2B creators. And I think at the same time also a lot of marketing or go-to-market teams at startups and scale-ups asking themselves, how can we grow? Like SEO is dying, Google search is saturated. So what are like the new growth channels and where are all people usually hanging out on social media at the end of the day? So at the end of the day, founded Passionfroot to empower on one hand creators to actually go after their passion and do what makes them feel alive and actually being able to monetize that. And then on the other hand, enabling marketers and go-to-market teams actually partnering up and growing with amazing creators and thought leaders out there.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing. We've had a few creators on the podcast,
cool.
And there's just this theme of like authenticity. Everyone wants to connect and wants their brand to seem real, and like going through creators is one of the best ways to kind of put your brand in the best light. We talked about a few ideas. So one of the ideas was around this like YouTube kind of listener tool. We'd love to hear a little bit about what you'd hope to accomplish there and what problem you'd be solving.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think like you guys invite both, right, creators and founders as well, which makes the format also interesting. And as a founder, obviously myself, I always think about what are ways, right, like we as a company can grow and as a startup. One idea we actually were thinking about a while ago in the go-to-market team is how do we actually identify like good like companies, startups, fast-growing scale-ups that are already believing in creators as a growth engine and what are signals, right? And one perfect signal is obviously if they already partnered up with creators on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on podcasts or newsletters. And right now, the way we do it as a startup ourselves and as a go-to-market team is honestly just by consuming content ourselves and coming across, like creators that oh, like this company sponsored this podcast or this company worked with this newsletter together. So it's very unstructured. So I think the idea was, how can we, structure it? How can we scale it? How can we automate it? So we had a conversation actually just yesterday during breakfast on scaling that. And obviously, Rapid then came up, and super excited to see what we can build.
Yeah, let's jump into it. So basically the format, we spend some time before the show whipping up some prototypes, getting some things to show you. We'd love to just get your initial reactions, and then we can take it from there and keep iterating until we get something that could be useful for you.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so we just generate the first run. And so this is just basically a dashboard. We included a prompt on monitoring channels and search terms across YouTube. We'll get into the really technical stuff later for the back end actually scraping from YouTube and how we're going to ingest everything to get the right signals. But just in terms of UI, let me show you these two designs. To be honest, they kind of came out very similar. Let me open this first one. This first one, anything that immediately draws your attention?
Could you zoom in a little bit more? A bit. Yeah, cool. I think on the right side, at least, what drew my attention was just the dashboard or the leader. Yeah, exactly. The top brand mentions. So I can see Notion, Superhuman, Figma being mentioned. I think that's super interesting in terms of just top leaders or mentions, which is already the first kind of area that I would look at immediately. I think that could be super helpful for us. What else do I see there? Recent videos. I guess it's just a mix of videos that feature or are sponsored by different brands. So I could basically, I imagine, just click on it and see the content review or the video itself.
Yep.
Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Can you scroll a bit? Yeah. Okay, cool. And then those are basically different YouTube channels I could monitor.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard you mention, for you, what comes when you were thinking about this whole optimization? Are you thinking of more getting a signal on the brand name or the creator, or both?
Both, actually. I mean, at the end of the day, we're building a platform, right? So we need, on one hand, creators that are already doing brand partnerships and are kind of our ICP. So a lot of the creators I can see here are actually already Passionfroot users, which is a good validation, right? Ali Abdal, Islo, a lot in the productivity space. So that's great. And then on the other hand, also brands that already work with creators. So in that sense, we need both signals for both creator and brands.
Perfect. Okay. Let's just go to the next one. Like I said, it's kind of very similar. So it's going to be down to subtle things that you might prefer, or, but taking a look at this one. Oh, for one, when you're zooming in, it doesn't seem to hide the side.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything that you'd like to double click on?
Yeah.
Or that you like that stands out?
What happens what's the difference between brands mentioned and sponsors detected on top?
I think the way it interpreted this, and again, this is just an initial run of the UI, so we can remove UI and add it back in whenever we want to. I think the way it interpreted it was just total sponsors, distinct sponsors mentioned over the videos that you're monitoring. And then brand mentions are the actual points in the video where that sponsor or brand was mentioned.
And how would the tool basically, or how would it help me to iterate or kind of identify what type of creators or verticals or tags or keywords, I could find? Is it, searching for productivity creators, and then it would just monitor hundreds of different channels that are in the productivity space?
Yeah, so knowing just YouTube, or after initial research and just past work that I've done in trying to set up YouTube signals, there's no way to have like a bucket or like discovery of like different brands. So you kind of have to have like search terms in mind.
Yeah.
So like phrases like, oh, AI productivity tools.
Okay.
And then based on that search term, you'll be able to scrape whatever the top videos were for that week or for that month.
Yeah.
You
That's
kind of
super cool
So the
already.
limitation is you kind of have to know what search terms you're gonna want to monitor.
Yeah.
And then I think like what would the ideally for either of these tools, because they're pretty much the same layout, is you just like add a list of channels or add a list of phrases and search terms that are going to be listened to constantly.
Yeah, that's super cool. I mean, I know that a lot of even like marketers or startups, companies out there are just right now like going onto YouTube and then just looking for, I don't know, AI voice agents. And then trying to find like creators that could be a good fit that talked about AI voice agents. Obviously, this way makes it much more targeted and much more accurate, and also just like like it would. I can see here like the frequency, so it constantly updates either daily or weekly, which obviously would be just in terms of frequency much better just than a one-time like thing.
Okay. So it's the right kind of way to approach it, right?
I would say so, yeah, for sure. I mean, that's also how I think we would probably even use it or being able to use it right away. So I think I would go for like the search term, like productivity or AI productivity. I would probably put in daily or weekly as a frequency. Then I would basically look up which type of like brands or companies are being mentioned. And would it also give me really like the brands that are sponsoring the creators, or is it only that creators just mentioning it brands? Because obviously creators can just talk about a brand, but actually there's no like sponsorship behind it.
Yeah, so that's where the magic, I guess, of like the session will probably be getting into the nitty gritty. So in terms of the search term pipeline, it won't be directly synced with the tool, whichever one of these we choose. But like on the tool, the way I was thinking we could set this up is initially for this MVP is like this is a way to like track and let everyone who accesses this dashboard know the pipelines you have set up in Clay. And so in Clay, you can set up a pipeline that listens for the search terms the same way we were just discussing, where you edit, the search topic. You can see here, like, oh, if we want to like listen for Lenny's podcast, AI tools, that's what it'll listen to, and it'll upload, or it'll check every week. And then over here, the magic of another tool that we could add, or a column that we can add, is a prompt that says very explicitly, just pull the sponsorships, not just like brand mentions. Yeah. And so the AI will be able to understand like, oh, this is an actual sponsorship, not just like a side mention of like of a drink that they're using in the show. Yeah.
That's super cool. Yeah. That makes it obviously much more, accurate then. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Same thing goes for the channels. So for the channels, we'll probably be using another tool called Scrape Creators, which can specifically, if you feed it like a handle, like a channel that you really want to listen to. I know Ali Abdal's already a customer, but let's say, for example, it was Ali Abdal. You could set up a listener from your tool to like, hey, start listening to this channel weekly. And then the same thing, we'll send it through the same pipeline.
And then once you get the pipeline, could you, I guess, use Clay then in order to then find obviously the right leads and then even like build the outreach sequence, or how does that work?
Yeah, definitely. I think we'll see if we can get that far in this session. But as you can see how it's like visualizing like the top mentioned brands. Yeah. From there, we could make like an export tool so it can pull all those. So once you get like your weekly report, you see like, oh, Apple and Notion are really trending up this week. Let's export all of these companies, bring them into another Clay table, and then go find like the product managers, the influencer managers at those companies.
Yeah. Super cool. Yeah. No, I think that's already like definitely like what would help us already, like big chunk of it.
Cool. So we could choose one of these to double down on. From the quick look that we had on the two UIs, which one would you rather stick with?
I like UI-wise this one.
This one, this first one.
This one, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
I think this looks very clean and neat already.
Okay, perfect. All right.
How long did it take you?
This was one prompt.
Crazy.
Yeah.
You can
Crazy.
you could even scroll in the history and show
So
like
if we go up here, oh, well, it was one prompt and then very light. I think I said
add placeholders.
a placeholder for one of the pages that
Yeah.
was for two of the pages.
Three
that-
prompts, but
Yeah.
pretty much one.
I just wanted to add placeholders for these pages. Oh, like looks like I didn't do brand analysis, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
The core structure was all basically one prompt.
Crazy.
Cool. Let's dive in.
We can try adding a
channel.
Adding a channel.
I
and,
think
like,
the
just go through
channel
go through
will be
workflow.
easiest first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's try that.
Okay, so let's add a channel. And let me go over
Yeah,
to
because the
where-
other one had it that you could add the search terms, right? This one has adding direct channels.
Yeah, I think of the search terms. Actually, I saw the button down here.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
I think
we could make it like here too, because I liked how it did have that
Yeah.
other button too.
let's
Yeah.
just, can we do search terms?
Oh, like
instead?
add the button
By
as well.
default?
No, I mean like, yeah, because how can you iterate on that? Like if I would want to have the search term up there.
Yeah. So I think for search terms, because there's no like Clay API,
Yeah.
so that if we add a search term from our website, like this app that you'll have for your internal, there's no way to like automatically pop that into Clay. Like it's more of like a manual, I think, reference for your team.
Okay.
They can come to the dashboard and see like, oh, there's a Clay board that's pulling these in, like
Yeah.
just so that people are aware that maybe up on Clay you have a workbook
Okay.
that's running on that term.
Okay.
If you want, maybe let's pick one search term and like get this Clay pipeline going and like
Yeah.
the prompt rate. So this one is like basically it's saying it's literally just looking at YouTube and it's searching for it's doing this query, Lenny's podcast AI tools, and then grabbing 5 results from the past week. We'll keep it at 5 while we're testing and building this out, but obviously you can increase this to like 50.
Yeah. What are some terms that have been top
Yeah.
of mind for you lately, or trends that you wanted to keep an eye on?
I mean, AI voice agents,
Yeah.
I think
AI
is
voice
one
agents.
of them. But I think, that one, AI workflow automation, I think as well. Let's start with that. and see
AI
what
voice
comes up.
agents or
Yeah.
AI workflow automation.
Let's do AI voice agents. I think
Okay,
that's
perfect.
an interesting one.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll keep it to 5. And then the upload date, how do you ever sort by, latest uploaded, or is it more so by popularity?
Popularity
Okay.
usually, but we can also do this week or this month. I think that's fine as well.
Yeah. Yeah, because eventually as your tool's running for quite a few weeks, like week over week,
Exactly.
you'll want what's freshest.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. We'll keep this week. Country of search, we'll keep it US
Yep.
and then English.
Yep.
Cool. AI voice agents. If I hit submit, I think if I click update now, or I could even do manually. We'll just do this for now on schedule.
Is it going to run it once right now, or will it?
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's literally going to go to
nice.
YouTube right now, and it just pulled these last 5 videos.
What did it pull? Let's see. Could you pull up like the first one?
Yeah.
Of the 5. See how relevant it is to this.
Let's see. I think this was the first one. I think it actually only did 2. Let me delete the older results that were already preloaded in here. So these were the 5 that it just pulled
Okay.
in. Let's do this one.
Title already sounds promising.
Yeah, the audio stuff is all messed up.
Yeah.
But okay, so this is the first one that it comes up with, Digital Growth Hacks Club. I think it was posted 6 days ago. It's got not too many views, but
Is that something you could iterate based on like just like minimum views or like?
yeah. So this one's got 12K views. Let's see if they have that provided. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So if you want, I mean,
But it's also, I mean,
yeah.
that's something we could iterate basically on.
Yeah, that could be iterated, but I think going into this now,
Yeah.
if we wanted to improve this later, you would bump up the maximum number of results way higher to like 100, and then it does provide like views, and then somewhere down here we could add a column.
Okay.
That would be like,
Yeah,
hey,
exactly.
don't waste AI credits or Clay credits on something that has like 500 views or like that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But 12,000, I mean, views not bad. Can you scroll to, I think somewhere I could see like the video sponsors that were mentioned.
Yeah, so here, we'll just go run this. And there's a chance that none of these had sponsors mentioned. So let's actually open up the prompt, and then happy to take your feedback if you want to refine it. But basically, I wrote down a prompt that says, look through the transcript of this YouTube video to see if you could spot any sponsorships, supporting brands, or commercials mentioned within the transcript. You must output the list of sponsors as, you know, the format. And then if no brands or sponsors are mentioned, simply output an empty string.
I think that's quite accurate. I mean, sometimes I guess they also, I don't know if, you know, like partnered with or partnerships is sometimes rather a term than maybe like sponsored by. That's something we could iterate on. But yeah, obviously there's also a chance that none of those videos got actually sponsored.
Yeah.
I think it's still an interesting, I would still be able to use it for the creator supply side. So to identify creators that talk about those topics. And then I would also build a sequence on Clay to then reach out to those creators. And then, if obviously sponsors are mentioned or partners are mentioned, then I would build another sequence basically then to reach out to those.
Yeah. And then we could, just for like your easy viewing, this is what like will display anything. The videos that end up coming through as like sponsorship, they're flag sponsors. That's what we'll probably display here. But yeah. So here I could just add to the prompt like partners.
Partnered with, partnered. I don't know if that makes
we
a
could
difference.
say.
Does it pull in the description of the video as well? Sometimes they'd have like affiliate links or partners listed in the description.
It can do that. So over here in the results, description.
Nice.
So in description, we can add like a column later probably of like specifically looking for that word, because you don't even need to use AI for that. You just look for partnered with.
Yeah.
Or you could use a really, really small model like O1 mini or O40 mini.
Are there ever situations where the people are not sponsored but they still are like working with a brand, and you'd want to like connect them to the actual brand so that they could be sponsored?
That exists as well, for sure. Like I think some creators even start out that way, right? Where they just say, here are my favorite 5 AI tools.
Exactly.
And then from there actually brands are getting signals in that sense as well, because they want to see like, they want to also partner up with creators that are already users. So that's definitely a good way, again, like for just the supply side, the creator side, right, to get them on board. So yeah, for sure.
I just want to see if we can find a video that comes up with sponsorships mentioned.
Yeah.
So we'll do 50 videos over the last month.
Yep.
And then we'll just update it. And then let's see if we get a winner. Maybe we could even get you a customer on this.
Do you find that brands want to advertise on like directly relevant channels, or are there sometimes they want to like expand out of their niche and like find people who are in adjacent markets?
Honestly, we see both. Like some brands are very specific on like for example like AI voice agents, and then really looking for creators that talk about AI voice agents. And then sometimes they're branching out, I mean, in a sense of like creators that talk, if it's a horizontal product, right, could be then like creators that are design creators.
Right.
Replit is a perfect use case, right, and one of our customers. So design creators, engineer creators, so branching out into different kind of like verticals or just like user groups, and then working with different creator groups in that sense together too. Yeah,
nice.
We
Did
got
find
some. We got some winners
Nice.
here, and it's like the usual culprits, like BetterHelp, Squarespace, NordVPN.
Yes.
We know it's working.
So we
We
got these
validated
Skillshare. Okay,
Yeah.
so awesome.
Yeah.
And then these last two columns, that's for like once they come through, once the sequence runs, then it will get sent into our dashboard. So maybe that's what we can get. Maybe we can get these hits and then put them in our dashboard
Yeah.
to display the videos and the brands. And then we're going to see that Skillshare and NordVPN are trending up for this month.
And then the brand mentions on our dashboard on the other are basically just brands that were mentioned, but not necessarily the top brand mentions.
I think this is going to be just the mentions like
Yeah.
these, like the sponsors. So even though it says brands, I think that's going to maybe we could change the language to say top sponsors, right?
Okay.
Is that what you meant?
Yeah, exactly. Because I was wondering if that gives me also kind of like a good overview of like top sponsors that basically were mentioned by creators. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that means Notion, Superhuman, Sponsor the Love. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, right now it's just kind of like dummy data that it just displayed. Yeah,
okay,
it's not
got it.
like live.
But that would be
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
No. And doorbell just rang and our pizza just rang.
Yeah.
So
I forgot about
maybe
that part.
before we set off on this prompt, we're gonna go and grab
let's grab the pizza.
Grab the
All
slice. All right, we're back and we got Prince Street Pizza this time. So we got the fresh slice, and now we're gonna queue up and see if we could start sending the data from the search query from Clay into this application. So
All right.
the app might look a little empty after this one because it's probably gonna wipe all the dummy data. So let's go ahead and start a new chat and say, okay, I want you to set up a very simple webhook in the back end that will be receiving a payload in this format. And so a quick shout out to Wispr Flow. This is like a little extra tool that I use on the side just for extra prompting. Usually I use it for prompting like AI tools, but also when you're stuck on a lot of email, it's super clutch just to like hammer away emails just using voice.
Cool. Yeah, they're one of our customers as well.
Oh,
Great
awesome.
to
Nice.
hear. Yeah. It's a whole ecosystem. of-
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just going to tell it this is a format it's going to come in.
How do you find usually the right prompt? Like how many iterations does it take you, or any like tips on like people who are getting started with it on just prompting?
Yeah. I would say, so a lot of schools, I mean, I had this, but in middle school, if you ever had like the assignment of like write out instructions for how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and you have to be as exact as possible, it's sort of like approaching it that way right now with the current state of models. And I also think like if you just have a basic understanding of APIs and webhooks,
Yeah,
that's all you
that
need.
helps. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Of course, yeah. Just keeping in consideration all the stuff that the tool, the system might not have context to.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think we did that in school, but it was how to make toast, like how to make a piece of toast, and it's like explain every step
Yeah,
one by one.
yeah, yeah.
But now, honestly, like the models have gotten better.
Yeah.
So you can just like context
Yeah.
dump, let it
Yeah.
do its thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people use another model to like simplify or explain what they want to do, and then send that into like another tool. So
Interesting.
yeah, people have their
What's the
workflows.
Do you know a tool?
A lot of people, I mean, a lot of people are just using like ChatGPT or Claude
okay. Yeah,
like
okay.
as their
Just to
main
simplify.
operating
Yeah,
system.
yeah,
It kind of
yeah.
knows who you are, knows
Yeah.
about what you're interested in, and then
yeah.
to like simplify, or they'll drop in just
Yeah.
like bullet points and then get it to write something that's
Yeah.
more useful.
Yeah. I just saw the stats actually that interestingly the number one use case
Yeah.
what people use it for is not actually for that or
Yeah.
for coding, but actually being a therapist.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, quite
we should
interesting.
we'll pull that up and put it
Yeah.
on the screen, because that was a crazy
Yeah.
like the top 3 I think use cases were all just like personal
Yeah.
life, like life coach,
Yeah.
therapy,
Emotions.
emotional support.
Yeah.
It speaks to what people are lacking
Yeah.
in their life day
Yeah.
to day. Yeah, when we're not filming, that's what we use it for too.
Awesome. So just a little prompt. So over the side, I was also just saying like, the sponsor, the way it'll come in. It'll be a comma separated string. And then we'll also want recent videos. And then I'm also going to include a screenshot of where this data is going to display. And we'll give it a shot. We'll let it run. So while it's running, I wanted to ask just more about, we asked about your origin story earlier about Passionfroot. Would love to know more about your specific origin story or your family's origin story, immigrating to Germany. Could you tell us more about that and how it affected your passions and, you know, what your career pursuits are today?
Yeah, for sure. I think my parents, they immigrated in the late 80s from Vietnam to Europe. And honestly, it's obviously all about like, you know, enabling a better future for themselves, but also like their children as a future generation. So it's literally, I would call it the American dream. There's no similar term in Europe, but I think it's that, right? Like really building a better future for themselves, and they sacrifice a lot of everything and put in a lot of hard work. And I think just like learning from them, like the work ethics and the passion and the grit is something that I think a lot of actually immigrant founders just take from their background or their upbringing as well. So it was similar to me, just like this, on one hand, like deep gratitude for the life, honestly, they enabled me and gave me. But then also from there, like, what do I do with that, right? And how do I create actually impact in the society and the world? And I think entrepreneurship is one of the best and most beautiful levers I think you can pursue in order to do that. And and I think that's why it was always like on my mind to start my own business at some point, and also to not take the life for granted that I got, right? And just kind of like leveraging the grit and persistence and work ethic that my parents or my upbringing gave me. And that I think also fuels me to build a business and to build something, I think just something bigger that is bigger than me and beyond myself in that sense. And I think what I really enjoy and love is just, I don't know, like building something out of nothing and just having something in your mind. And I think that's the beauty even right now, right? Like with tools like Replit, that you can just bring things to life very, very easily and quickly, and building the product is becoming easier and easier. But I think what we also talked about, right? Every day there's a new AI company, AI feature launching. So how do you actually stand out? And people usually in the end follow people and not like brands or companies. So I think that's why also like the creator economy resonates very much with me, because at the end of the day it's all about just like actually putting yourself out there, and your background oftentimes doesn't really matter, but it's all about enabling economic mobility, honestly, with the creator economy as well. And I think that's why the whole like philosophy of the creator economy also resonates so much with me, due to my background as well. The freedom and just increased agency, and like it doesn't matter what your background is kind of just the value that you bring people. Democratizing in that sense also entrepreneurship and wealth generation and access, right? Like it's much less than about gatekeeping. And I think even vibe coding does that, right? It democratizes now a lot of I think even like gives people a lot of like new opportunities to build suddenly, right? Like one person businesses or like small lean teams to build new companies or businesses out of that. So I think that's like the whole like kind of like idea with that, and I think that's the beauty in it.
So we got it loaded up. It says it's set up a webhook for it to grab. I'm gonna go code search it just so that it's not trolling us, and make sure that API webhook is actually there. Cool. It should be here. Cool. Now we're going to try to call this from Clay. So we'll use this, grab this URL, Bring it to Clay here. And this endpoint. Cool. Save this. Or we'll actually, let me close this one. This was an old HTTP. Let's run all the columns. Status 201. Oh, cool. So it says it hit it. But I don't see any new brand mentions.
No, I
You try
think it's still
refreshing?
the same.
Yeah, let's try refreshing.
Dummy data.
Demi data.
Yep. I see some new.
Skillshare.
Skillshare's new.
Oh.
Squarespace.
Oh, okay. Wow, it swapped it out.
Yeah.
Cool.
Also, it shows the 14. Before it said 2, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
it was all
videos.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow, it's already
It worked.
formatting.
So seamless that, in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was going to be pretty, like, format intensive.
There's no way to hook in the keywords the other way. Right?
I wish. I've been asking the Clay team for an API to, like, wait, maybe,
If they're able to pull YouTube videos, they should be able to.
let's see. I don't know if we'd be able to do it on this episode, but
That's fine. We can hook it up
let's see.
later.
Search YouTube.
Would be fun. I just hang out with one of the Clay go-to-market engineers, just calling her.
Yeah. Just like live
exactly.
debug.
Yeah. You're doing the whole New York startup scene, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, on the side note, I don't think so.
Okay.
Okay.
Not yet. We need a Clay API for it to go and be able to take the search term and then pop it in automatically so that we can control the search terms from here.
Okay.
So we'll see. Clay, if you're watching this, sponsor us and add an API.
I'm gonna be next Tuesday at the Clay go-to-market AI hackathon.
Oh,
That'd be a
okay.
good. Yeah, I
Yeah.
could just build up on that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll give you the
Yeah.
Clay table and, of course, like this dashboard, of
Yeah.
course. How about for the next step, we like clean up the recent videos as well?
Yeah, there's
Like
a lot
the-
of stuff going on here that we might
Probably too extra.
might not need, right?
Yeah.
What's like the most important thing to you to see if you were to look at a dashboard like this, or after analyzing like, let's say 1,000 videos, what would be like the key information you'd want to pull?
I mean, I think like just the top brands,
Yeah.
obviously, that we should reach out to and go after, and then the top creators that are trending, and we should also reach out to. And then I'm thinking what else. Obviously, like popular, maybe like search terms. I think the videos is more how we would use it, is more probably like a way to check the quality and just have a look at it, right?
Quickly jump in.
Yeah, exactly. Quickly jump in. We have that also in our product as well. I think that's like those would be like really the top like things I would look at in the dashboard. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe we could like lay it out. Like this should be, I feel like this brand mentions component should be a lot like
Yeah, like
bigger,
the
more
main
prominent.
Prominent and then longer if there are more, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's only showing the top 5 right now, so we could just show like a table
Yep.
Yeah.
of all the top brands.
Yeah. Cool. We'll tell it that. All right. We'll highlight this. I'm trying to get it perfectly. There we go. Can we make this position, the top brand mentions, higher up on the page, and then allow us to scroll and view a larger list if there are more brands, and then also make the list exportable, if possible, as a CSV? There you go.
If possible. Being so nice.
It's converting formatting of text is hard.
Yeah.
I don't want the AIs to get mad at me for making them work too hard once they become more physical.
If it fits your schedule and you have a second, could you please make it a CSV?
If it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
I'm a good boss.
Awesome. While it's working, I'm curious, like when you're starting out the marketplace, we've actually worked on a marketplace together in the past, Horatio and I, and just like balancing supply and demand and having that is like a very fine balance. Like if one side grows too quickly, it's like, oh shoot, we have to balance the other. Like what was the more difficult part at the start, and how do you like manage that balance?
Yeah, I think that's like every marketplace founder that I talk to has like exactly that challenge. And there are different strategies to approach it, right? And I think, at least for us, like our starting point was building the tool for the supply side, so for creators. And our first kind of like phase was all about like building this operating system for creators, similar to like a Shopify, where they can build a storefront, collect payments, really manage all their business in one place. And we started from there to onboard creators onto the tool, and then they stayed in the end for the network. So a lot of the creators actually started to onboard the demand side for us by just basically sharing Passionfroot with the brands. And I would say for most of marketplaces, similar also to us, it's a chicken and egg problem, but we definitely started out with the supply side first. From there, the demand side came, and as you said, it's a balancing act. So we always need to make sure that we have a good ratio of demand and supply. And you also have to build for two user types, right? They give you both feedback on what they need in a product. So it's definitely, I would say, one of the challenges to build for, in that sense, on two sides. But on the other hand, the beauty in it is network effects. Like, the network obviously becomes more valuable the more basically users join it. So I would say it has its pros and cons, but I would say like we could really see our growth loops going, like helping us grow like super well. And I think, that's the beauty, on the other hand, of that type of like business as well. Yeah.
Nice. I think it made the update.
It made us a CSV.
Oh.
So let's see if it works out. Oh, yeah. Here we go. We got a very small CSV. Oh.
And now also OpenAI.
Okay. Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, there was one mention of OpenAI.
Okay.
Zoom, Figma, Airtable, Stripe, Notion.
Yeah.
Maybe if we could like click into the brand and then see the list of videos.
Yeah.
Instead of just seeing the list of videos on the side, that could be useful.
Yeah, I'm thinking that was a hallucination. That doesn't seem right. I don't see OpenAI in there, and I don't see Zoom. It looks like it just swapped out. It just swapped out all the actual data. Oh, so I think what happened is it didn't actually save it as a database. Yeah. So I just have to run Clay again. Let me run Clay.
Oh, because Clay.
Yeah, I just have to push in the data again, because when we refreshed it, it put back dummy data.
Oh, right, because our app doesn't call it from Clay. Clay pushes it.
Clay pushes it, and we didn't store it. We didn't store it anywhere. It was just in memory. So let's just run the column again. We'll give it a second.
Okay.
Are there any tools that connect the creators on your platform, like to collaborate or to like creator to creator tools, or is it mostly creator to brand?
It's mostly creator to brand, but we definitely had like creators also signing up even as a brand to work with other creators and collaborate with other creators. So we have like, for example, larger, like AI newsletters or creators on Twitter that work then and sponsor smaller creators as well. So that's actually also quite cool.
Nice.
So with that, they also have to grow with each other. And we even have it the other way around, where we have brands and people who work basically at those companies that also do on the side, right? Like being creators as well. So then they sign up the other way around. So yeah, it's quite cool to see like, both sides.
That's great.
Yeah, here we go.
Okay, that looks already
Yeah, so we had to re-push all the clay stuff. It's still not saved persistently because we don't have the database added yet. So we'll keep that in mind. We just have to run it each time.
So OpenAI is there.
OpenAI is there, yeah.
So
is that a real one? Or are the bottom 5 like the fake ones maybe?
Yeah, so it doesn't seem like it overwrites. I think the bottom 5 are the bottom 5 are fake. So the fake dummies, he didn't want to overwrite
Skillshare is on 20 of the videos.
Yeah, they're definitely they're one of our customers already.
Yeah.
So
perfect.
Good validation.
How would you feel if you end up seeing that you're running this tool and you have like 99% market penetration already? It's probably not the case.
Good.
But I think it would make me feel good.
Well, we talked about this a little bit yesterday when we at breakfast, but what is a category that you say that's like fastest growing, where it's like blue ocean for you right now, like customers that you really want to get after, or category of customers that you want to get?
I mean, honestly, the overall like B2B space is kind of blue ocean in the sense that a lot of the companies are just starting to realize or shifting, right, as we talked about, like their now marketing budget to creators. So that in itself is like a blue ocean, I would say. But obviously there are definitely like players that now come follow into this as well. And then in terms of like verticals or categories, I mean, AI overall as a theme is the fastest growing category. So I think 40-50% of our customers are like all AI companies. And that includes probably even like, startups that are just really getting started, just raised their Series A round, Series B, AI first, or even like enterprise or larger companies that are now shifting or launching their AI feature as well, right? So I would say that's definitely the fastest growing category. Obviously in the vibe coding space, I think it's very prone for that type of like growth channel. But also in general, like every like type of like PLG driven company that's also like a good usually like category. But yeah, AI, I would say B2B SaaS. What else? Sales and marketing are good categories as well. So a lot of the sales and marketing tools, right, are also like right now kind of rebranding, reshifting. So overall, like I think across all the categories, I would say in the B2B space is a lot of momentum right now. Yeah.
Awesome. Let's find some AI companies in here.
Yeah.
Okay, so where to next? Should we?
Yeah, I mean, from there, so obviously that would give me now like a first list of potential companies. Then I guess from there we would work, or we would at least continue work with Clay to then build the sequences and finding then like who to reach out to, or like automating that. I don't know if we want to continue there, or or we can also check like which creators actually we should reach out to, or which creators are I
was thinking, like, would you want like a component let's say on each of these rows to show the actual videos that mentioned it, so you could actually click through and see like it's like a row within a row of like you
or
can see
maybe
the
the
video.
creator.
I think the
like
creator
the creator
would be
profile.
even enough.
Creator would be better.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think both could work, but if I would see like from the 18 from like like Skillshare, like who are the 18 creators of videos that actually because that gives us basically then both the brand and then also like creators that could be a good fit. So rather the creator or the channel, but video is also would be helpful as well, just to like check obviously the quality. But I think if I think like very efficiently, then just creator or channel would be probably more efficient,
more useful.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Visually, should we do that drop down arrow, or should we do that drop down component, or should we just like have like a separate like list below it? Creator.
I think let's do the drop down, or let's make it like very clear, like which creators are already partnering up with which creator brand. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Let me just go double check the data that gets thrown into. So it's got the URL of the video. It's got the channel ID. Why is that null? Let me just double check. I want to make sure that it has like the handle of the channel or... Oh yeah, okay, we got channel name. Let's see if that's a field for everything else. Yeah, channel name. And I just want to make sure one more. Yeah, channel name right there. Stephen G. Pope and Greg Eisenberg, good channels.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, cool. Let me, one more time, just grab the payload and tell it, great, within this component, could we also make it a toggle drop-down arrow that can show all of the creator / channels that mentioned this brand for this report that was pulled in. So when I click on Skillshare, we can see all the channel names that mentioned that brand in this report. There we go. And we'll just say through Wispr Flow again. As a reminder, this is what the JSON looks like. That comes in through the webhook. And then we'll drop that in there. Oh. Let me just get rid of a ton of this. And give it a screenshot as well. There we go. We're back.
You'll have to run the
We'll have to run
again.
Clay again. Go back in here, run column, force run all of them. And then we can see it popping in here.
Nice. It worked.
Refresh. All right, we got Skillshare. Let's see. Oh, okay.
20.
Here we go. Wow,
So
it even got the
20
count.
Yeah, 20 videos across, looks like maybe 10, 9 or 10 channels.
Well,
Okay.
This one interests me because I don't know if I've never heard Greg Eisenberg use Skillshare as a sponsor.
Interesting.
I'm curious to get the link to the...
Yeah, which video is it?
That is not correct. That's not Greg Eisenberg.
No.
What is this? Okay, wait. Where's the channel name? Author. Okay. Let's see if we can find Greg. Okay, Greg's down here. And let me actually create a new...
Sorry.
Found it?
I'm pulling up the video. Let's see if it's...
Let's do this. Okay, we're gonna add a filter. Filter for Greg in Clay. We're gonna search for author. Up here contains Greg Eisenberg.
Yeah. Skillshare is not really on brand with Greg.
Yeah, no, he could build his own Skillshare. And it says this one was the one that labeled this notice Skillshare. Let's open this video.
Let's
Okay.
see.
This one was posted in May. And then I'm going to check the transcript.
Is it possible that those programmatic ads that are like that we just saw like as pre-roll ads?
It shouldn't
Okay,
be because it's
yeah.
pulling from the transcript.
Right.
It could be that it's something related that it thinks is Skillshare.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see it in the transcript.
Yeah, let's see. Let's copy the transcript that I got from Greg's video, and let's bring it into ChatGPT, and then just say, can you review this transcript from a YouTube video and see if there's any mentions of Skillshare? Let me actually tell it the brands that it identified. So Skillshare, NordVPN, Squarespace. Let's say these brands. Okay, so yeah,
What
so
did
we
it
caught
say?
something.
It said yes?
No mentions.
Huh.
Yeah, so confirmed.
So
So this column in Clay is just kind of like hallucinating. You know what? It is completely hallucinating because I didn't even put in the variable. I have to put in the transcript here. There we go. Okay.
Okay.
all right, let's try again.
Just made up.
It just made up like the most common, like, well, it got it pretty on brand.
Yeah, I mean,
it got it pretty on brand.
Brands just.
That's funny.
All right, let's give this another try.
It was surprisingly fast, I will say. When it did it the first time, I was like, "Wow, that was quick."
All right, we're gonna give this another go. We're gonna run everything, force run this whole thing again. Now it's making me think. Like, remember how we wanted some hits of actual sponsors?
Yeah.
We're gonna have to see if anyone actually, with the 50 videos that we did at the beginning, if it got any. Oh, okay. Okay. Now I think this came from Greg's video, Claude for Opus.
Yeah. Yeah, these look.
But these are not. Yeah, they're not sponsors.
They're just like
they're
technologies
mentions.
that are mentioned, which again isn't bad. We might want to.
Yeah, but now we're actually analyzing the transcript.
Yeah.
So now we can hone in more on
Can you
the
try hooking this into the dashboard and see like how. Let's see how broken it is.
how many false positives we hit.
Yeah, because it'll also probably like it might say Claude for Opus in one, and it might say like Claude in another one.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of deduplication
Yeah.
there.
So
Like we'd have to come up with like a key of like
Yeah.
well-known brands.
Or you tell it to like only output that brand name or something like that. We might have to iterate on the prompt a bit.
Got it. Yeah, should we run it and see
Yeah,
how
let's
messy it
just
gets?
Run it and see.
Yeah. And some of the transcribing from YouTube's side, I know it's not the best transcriber. Like you can see NAN. I know for a fact that's probably N8N.
Yeah.
This is pretty interesting though. Still, it's like it's just like a trend analysis type thing.
Yeah, it's just brand mentions
Yeah,
is
but we
really
can
except it's not
tweak the
sponsors.
prompt.
But we'll definitely like hone it in. But this is what's trending. This is what pulled up.
Oh, is that Vappy's like the voice? It's like V.
It's
V
supposed to be an
API,
I.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. But yeah.
You 11 Labs. Yeah, 11 Labs pretty.
Skillshare's still up there.
Skillshare's running with all the
You
AI
can't-
companies competing.
Yeah. But it got it. I mean, we would probably have to add like a component in your like on this end where you could find like common like Airtable. You would merge this with like maybe Airtable where it starts labeling it as one word properly. You'd have to like start to create like merging strings so that they're always like matched under Airtable, the actual real company.
Okay.
Well, actually, even though this is like spelled incorrectly for most of these, like that one, once you put it into Clay, the research agent that you would use to go grab the domain names and research the company and grab the LinkedIn, like you could do that cleanup within Clay pretty easily too.
Okay. All right. And here, so now we got the brand mentions, but how do we differentiate between brand mentions and actual like
We have to make the
sponsors?
prompt. We have to make the prompt better.
Yeah, we got to beef up the prompt.
So
Usually, like the really like the verbatim oftentimes is, I mean, this video is sponsored by. If that, I think, could be helpful.
So we could maybe say something like analyze the sections before the company's name is mentioned for phrases like this episode is brought to you by, or this video is brought to you by, or sponsored by.
Any others? Good catchphrases?
That's the most. That's the most.
Okay.
I think obvious one.
Cool. All right. Be extra careful to ensure that these are actual brand sponsorships of the video. And then I'll start a new line. Sponsorships usually start or come with phrases like, this video is brought to you by, this video is sponsored by.
What model is it using for the transcript analysis?
I'm gonna wager it's OpenAI Wispr, or maybe in 11 Labs. We should probably ask them.
But it's analyzing just the text, right?
Yeah, no, but it actually does some editing in the background. You can add your own prompts to format the text, and then they add some engineering in the background to like format it because it knew to add quotes like it did when it pasted.
Oh no, I mean the model that Clay is using to do the transcript analysis.
It's 4.0.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, should we up it? We could also up it.
Yeah, why not? Maybe 4.1.
4.1.
Sure.
And then, yeah. Let's do it.
Awesome. So we can rerun.
Yeah, so it's going to rerun.
Okay. Rerun the tagging.
There we go.
All right.
Oh, the other thing. Oh, I know Greg says this video is brought to you by Startup Empire, that he does use that phrase, but it's his own company. So that's the only false positive that you might have. But how could you train the AI to get around? Oh, I guess that would be kind of more of a Clay thing. Because as you're scraping, you're going to see like, oh, it's Greg. Oh, man. Yeah,
it's Greg Eisenberg's company that...
You'd probably have to put that logic in Clay and like you just easily...
But honestly, I think also Greg Eisenberg is the edge case.
Yeah,
not everyone's sponsoring their own videos.
Yeah, not everyone's spinning up their own companies and pairing it with their YouTube channel.
Yeah.
But I think it's there. Which one could we analyze it?
I saw somewhere 11 Labs, which looks pretty... I mean, I know that they're sponsoring YouTube videos, so...
Oh, this is 11 Labs.
Okay.
There's 11 Labs on a few of them.
We could actually, let's go to the dashboard and then see.
Oh, yeah.
Let's refresh. All right, top mentioned brands. Did it clean up right? Should I rerun it?
Yeah, I don't think this is I don't think it updated.
Let me...
Yeah.
All right, let me run this manually again. Okay, let's check 11 Labs. I think that one would be easier. Robbie.
Yeah, it'd be nice if you could list the videos here too, because we just have the channel now. If you could like click into that video.
Yeah, exactly. To go straight into check.
See both.
Yeah.
I think the last one is
the quality check.
Oh, this is a pretty small channel.
Okay. Let's say, it's brought to you by 11 Labs? 76 views, sponsored by 11 Labs? Let's see. Transcribe.
I don't think this one is sponsored.
So maybe we gotta up the prompt one more time.
But the whole video is about 11 Labs. Okay. So it is like, that's a tough one.
It might have hallucinated.
Yeah. But like if a creator is talking about the brand that deeply, we could also maybe have multiple prompts. Like you could have one prompt which is just the creator talked about the brand, and then a separate table of creators explicitly sponsored by.
Yeah, but for Jennifer's use case, let's stick with sponsors, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Any other magic phrases to include in the prompt to?
I think this one is pretty explicit. Thank you to our sponsor.
All right.
Maybe
we should make it.
Be more intense. Like
you are a helpful FCC assistant to identify ads and sponsorships mentioned in YouTube videos content. There we go. Okay.
You could also be like in the actual prompt, instead of like usually, you could just say like always. Like it always includes these phrases. Just be a little bit more, demanding and aggressive, even though you're nice when you prompt.
All right.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Don't mind.
All right. Lay down the law.
All right.
You must be sure that this is a sponsorship. All right. Here we go. And this will...
While it's running again, you mentioned you're like back and forth between Berlin and New York. I'm curious what the startup scene is like in Berlin these days, and what the energy is like there.
Yeah, I think I mean there are some similarities between New York and Berlin in the sense that it's a city with a lot of like creative talent and artsy, and I think very diverse as well. There are people from all around the world, a lot of young people actually moving there. So I think that's also like the fun part of Berlin. It's quite international, open. And you have good tech talent overall. So it's one of the largest tech hubs as well in Europe. And you have obviously lots of space. It's very green. It's less dense probably than most of those cities like London, Paris, or New York. Quite, I would say, still affordable to live in as well. So yeah, overall, like a good tech ecosystem, and obviously a lot of rise on AI companies now there as well. Yeah.
Totally. Are the creators that you work with all around the world, or?
Yeah. Like we're pretty much, we're a global, right, like platform. So most of the creators are all around the world. And then I would say on the brand side, also like all around the world, but I would say like 70% in the US.
Yeah.
So it's quite, US heavy. Yeah.
Sense.
Yeah.
Cool. Where are we at?
It's a little less dense.
I think that's good.
All right. So let's see, go high level. High level wizard. So that's probably like a brand account. Voice Genie. It's from Voice Genie. So I mean the hit rate it's all this
it's from like the own company talking.
So we need to rerun this again. Sources. Let's really crank out the credits. Let's make it maximum number of results. Let's do 150.
Yeah.
And then we will do upload date, and then maybe this one will bring us home. We'll at least get to a result, and then I think probably later we can hand you like a less dense, like there was probably a ton of components on that dashboard that we didn't need. If we could just stick it with the report, and then then maybe later next week we'll meet at Clay's office to finish it off.
Yeah, love it.
All right, let's submit, and let's see if we can get some results to finish off the episode.
Yeah, are there any creator stories that you found interesting from people on the platform? I think like the first dollars you make as a creator online are like so magical.
Yeah, for sure. I think we had like both at our like last offsite. We celebrated like creators that made like the first dollar and tweeted about it and were super shocked and excited and like, wow, I can make money on the internet with my passion and content. And we also celebrated the first millionaire creator on Passionfroot as well, who made their first million. So yeah, and I think that's pretty crazy, like just to be able, right, to like help creators to monetize and I would say not only make a living but really like thriving in that as well. And I think one of our early like users was this one creator. I think when I reached out to him, he had like 10,000 like subscribers on his newsletter, which was like one of the first like AI newsletters, and he wasn't even sure to if he should already like use Passionfroot. Can I monetize this? I'm not sure if my audience is big enough. But in a matter of I think 12 months, he grew the newsletter to like 600,000, 700,000 subscribers, and then his audience on Twitter and LinkedIn to over 2 million. And yeah, made his first million on Passionfruit. So, and that happened all within like 12 months. So that's pretty crazy, yeah. To just see, right, and also empower as well, yeah.
Yeah, and it would be inspiring for the newer creators to see like these success stories of what's possible.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, like they now build the whole team, right? Like of editors, salespeople, and all of that around him. And then and I think they started, I mean, with one person, right? Which is pretty amazing. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. Who are your favorite creators that you follow or are subscribed to or read?
I feel like, well, I've been in New York like 3 years now, but definitely like Casey Neistat was one of the influences as a kid growing up, like watching his vlogs. Huge influence on like wanting to move to New York. Actually, last episode we had Elliot Choi, who's a YouTuber in New York. He's a friend who came on. So I love like local content, like seeing people do things around where we are is like always exciting to me because you get to kind of, it feels like you know them. It feels like you're living the same or similar lives to them, so that's always been fun.
Yeah, cool. What about you?
I also am piggybacking on Casey, but then I really enjoy the content that the Acquired FM podcast puts out.
Yeah, it's very high quality.
Yeah, and they've kind of built an empire.
Yeah.
Like they're having an event here at JP Morgan Chase.
Yeah.
Radio City. To live in audience. The JP Morgan one was in San Francisco. I didn't go to that, but it's crazy they could fill a stadium as podcasters.
Yeah.
And they're still pretty niche.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyways, we got our run through Clay, and you could see it's like pretty much almost empty. A lot of these, while y'all were talking, I was just like checking. A ton of these are from the branded channels. So like their own channels, like so Go High Level, Synth Flow.
Is
this
Synth
one,
Flow the own channel or?
Yeah, Synth Flow.
That's their channel then?
Yeah,
or?
and again, YouTube's transcription doesn't seem to be great, so it says Synth Flow.
Yeah.
And so it's coming from Synth Flow AI.
Okay.
And then lastly, so maybe this is the one to save us. Let's see if we can get it right. Otherwise, this is making us realize like putting the signal, like you have to make it huge, like a huge grab of content to get a hit rate.
I mean, also not every video has a sponsor. Like, you're gonna need to have a pretty wide reach to find the right ones.
Okay.
Is that the brand in the name? Go High Level?
No, this one is Extend. So I picked out this one, Extendly.
Okay.
By this creator, Joshua Sanford. So let's go check him out. He's got Extendly as a... Oh, so it looks like Extendly is actually more of some sort of URL formatter. Let's see, Extendly.
Let's try one more.
All right. See if we get a hit rate. Voice Genie. Let me move this over the author. Shuriken AI. Oh, well, 4 views, and it's an AI promo, so he did like promote it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting closer.
So we promoted it. That one had 4 views, but it's a hit. I mean, at least got the sponsor.
We got a hit.
Yeah, we got a hit.
Got one hit. But it shows you, I mean, the sparse nature of like channels that get sponsored.
Exactly, which is why Passionfroot exists.
Exactly. Awesome.
Yeah.
So we got this dashboard. We'll probably cut it down to obviously we'll refresh this and it'll be a lot less brands, but we'll refresh it pretty much to focus on that component, and then we'll finish it off some other time.
Yeah, nice. Amazing. I think my go-to-market team is going to be very happy about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool. All right.
Thank you so much for joining us, Jennifer.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.